call this meeting of the Madison School Board to order. Ms. Humphries, can you please call the roll?
President Thompson.
Present.
Vice President Kazi.
Here.
Member Gresham.
I'm here.
Member Holcomb.
Here.
Member Hunt. We have a quorum.
Thank you. And I don't have the agenda in front of me. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Holcomb, seconded by Ms. Kazi. Please vote. I am voting aye because
I am not logged in yet, so I'm
me
voting aye as
either.
well.
Can we just do a voice vote?
Yes,
all
we
those
can.
all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. I'd like to ask the students who are here today to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand.
But you need to take off your shackles.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. First, I don't believe there's any need for an executive session. Okay. Next item on the agenda is communications and announcements, presentations and recognitions. Dr. Guerin.
President Thompson, members of the board, cabinet, and guests, I'm pleased to ask Ms. Anna Andrews, president of MSD38, to come to the podium.
Thank you. The You Make the Difference and Shining Star Awards are presented by the Madison District Classified, Certified, and Classroom Teachers Association and Madison Administration to recognize the certified and classified staff who truly demonstrate Madison's vision of inspiring passion for learning and leading in an ever-changing world. All right, and our first award recipient is Yolanda Reyes. It is our pleasure to nominate Yolanda Reyes for the You Make a Difference Award. Miss Yolanda Reyes is the cherished teacher in our 3-year-old classroom at Madison Heights, as well as a Madison parent. She started as a preschool aide and was well known for her warm smile, being upbeat, a hard worker, problem solver, and a teammate who proactively looked for ways to assist the classroom teacher and students. Her teaching partner at Simus, April Long, especially remembers Yolanda's patience and eagerness to learn new things. In the community education department, we love supporting talented employees as they grow within the profession. As a working mom, Yolanda took the big step of continuing her education and became a preschool teacher in our Spanish immersion preschool program at Madison Heights. Yolanda is an expert in teaching and engaging 3-year-olds. She makes it look easy, but as someone who has occasionally subbed in a 3's classroom when the teacher is out, we can honestly say that 23-year-olds can be a challenging audience. Her manner is warm, her activities are well thought out, and she is always exploring ways to differentiate and meet the needs of each individual child in her care. Mr. Dennis Peoples, a Madison preschool teacher alum who now partners with Yolanda as an inclusion specialist, says, Miss Yolanda creates an amazing, positive learning environment for her 3-year-old students. Her children are always excited to come to class and participate in daily activities. Yolanda demonstrates exceptional care and interest in her students by providing differentiated instruction and support to ensure they can each be successful. Her students are able to build self-confidence, resilience, and learn to be risk takers as she encourages, supports, and inspires them to be their best selves. Yolanda welcomes students with a variety of needs in her classroom, partnering with the special education teachers and other student support services to make play and learning accessible for all children. We can all think back to a special teacher who made an impact on us as a child. We may not remember exactly what they taught us, but the way they made us feel is a warm and cherished memory. That is Yolanda's superpower, her genuine respect for and her interest in the lives and thoughts of her young students, and it creates an atmosphere of community, curiosity, and trust. Sometimes you walk into a classroom that simply feels warm and joyful. You can't exactly explain how that experience is created, but you know it when you feel it. Yolanda's room is like that. The Heights Assistant Site Coordinator, Valentina Rodriguez, writes, Miss Yolanda has such a positive impact on the kids every day with her dedication, kindness, and creative teaching style. She has a special way of connecting with each child, making them feel safe and excited to learn, and creating a nurturing environment where they can thrive. She truly goes above and beyond to support her students' growth, and the difference she makes is clear to both the children and their families. Thank you, Yolanda, for making a difference in the lives of young children.
Thank you.
Would you like to say something?
It'll pick you up.
I just want to say thank you to everybody who came and supports me. I love what I do, and thank you, everybody.
And our next award recipient is Cheryl McFadden. Cheryl McFadden is a warm presence in the Rose Lane preschool classroom where her quiet competence ensures that families are cordially greeted, materials are prepped, and the students are well cared for. She goes above and beyond in the classroom. As a mom of a young Madison preschool student, she is very comfortable with young children and understands what is developmentally appropriate for their age group. As a classroom aide, she helps support all students' social and emotional needs and provides them with a safe space for them to express themselves. Cheryl is able to expand students' learning by helping to develop fun and engaging activities for them to do throughout the day. Cheryl loves to create new activities for the students to complete that encourage them to think critically and creatively. She extends their learning by having them use their acquired skills in engaging hands-on projects. Cheryl is always teaching the newer staff about Madison's expectations and models accordingly. She communicates with parents about each student's day, inquires about expectations and procedures to best accommodate student success, communicates when absent, reports parent concerns, and treats all staff with respect. One of the things we admire most about Cheryl is her desire to keep learning. She wants to grow in her profession and continuously strives to do better so that the students in her care can reach their fullest potential. Cheryl continuously inspires those around her. She is extremely hardworking, compassionate, flexible, and kind. Cheryl is always thinking ahead and takes care of things without being asked. She is passionate about being an educator and thrives in the learning environment. Cheryl is an outstanding individual and truly is a community education shining star.
really thankful for all the people I've had the opportunity to learn from, and I'm really excited to continue. Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is incoming Camel View Assistant Principal introduction. Dr. Guerin.
President Thompson, members of the board, cabinet, and guests, I am absolutely thrilled to introduce next year's Camel View Assistant Principal, Sierra Karsten. Can we give her a round of applause? Sarah, please come up to the podium. And while she's coming up, I just want to say that she's a longtime Madison employee and has just been an incredible dean supporting both Simus and Meadows. And I know the Camel View family is truly excited that she'll be joining them next year. Congratulations, Sierra.
Thank you. Governing Board President Thompson, Governing Board members, Dr. Guerin, and Cabinet, thank you so much for allowing me to speak. There's just a few people I want to thank. But first, I'd like to express my excitement for this new role at Camel View and to learn from such an experienced leader, CJ. And I got to visit the other day, and the students and staff were so friendly and welcoming, and I'm just so thrilled to be there. I just wanted to thank some people, if you don't mind. I want to thank my parents and my teachers for always believing in me and never minimizing my dreams. I came to Madison as a second-year teacher, and I was just blown away by the fact that people were always asking me what I thought about things and seeking out my thoughts, and just I've always felt so valued and just like a great sense of belonging here. I'd also like to thank some leaders who have shaped who I feel I want to be as a leader. Anna Andrews, Laura Webb, and who I call my school moms, Lindsay, Katie, Amber, and Ashley. And thank you so much. I am so excited.
Congratulations on your new role. Next item on the agenda, Superintendent's Report. Dr. Guerin.
President Thompson, Cabinet, Governing Board members, members of the audience. Spring is such a busy time. Please remember that state assessments are happening right now. School attendance is so very important. Every day counts. And this is an opportunity for Madison students to show off their incredible skills that they learned from their amazing staff members. Please check with your school for your child's assessment schedule because they do depend individually on each school. Thank you to our staff and our faith-based partners for attending the Madison Interfaith Breakfast last week. It was an incredible turnout and a great opportunity for our community to come together to discuss ways in which we can partner to support our students, families, and community. If you belong to a faith-based organization and would like to join us, please don't hesitate to contact my office. We meet twice a year, and not only do we ask you to support Madison schools, we support your community as well. Recently, and I don't want to steal their thunder, but the Food and Nutrition Services Department held Madison's top chef at Madison #1. I was amazed at the talent of our students, and we're really excited to present each board member with their own top chef cookbook this evening. Thank you, Ms. Humphreys, for putting those together, and the Food Services Department for designing them. I will be including them in my fourth quarter newsletter, so everyone can have the recipes. Thanks to Kristen Soulsby and Lexi Phillips for bringing back this truly cherished event, and we can't wait to hear more about it later this evening. We have one of our biggest events this Friday night, the Night at the Museum, really honoring art masterpiece and art integration in the Madison School District. It's free for all families at the Madison Center for the Arts, April 11th, and it begins at 5 p.m. You can find me at the button making machine. I am an expert. Don't forget to get your tickets to the Madison Gala on April 26, 2025. You do not want to miss the departure of this cruise ship. It will be quite the event for adults to support the foundation and have some fun. Lastly, it is hiring season. We just had a job fair. Was that last night? It's all blending together. Dr. Lomeli and her team and all the principals were there, and we had some really great candidates. Be sure to check out our website if you are interested in joining the truly special Madison family. Thanks to everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Guerin. We're going to move on to governing board member reports. And after governing board member reports, I'm going to go out of order so that we can hear the food and nutrition services updates so we can see our top chefs. So governing board member reports. Ms. Gresham.
Thank you, Ms. President. First, I want to say thank you to all our assistant principals, as it is Assistant Principals Week this week. So they work really hard and are so important to all our schools. So happy Assistant Principals Week to all of you. And thank you to MAC for bringing community ed, all community ed. Thank you for bringing all your projects and things so we could see what you guys do. You make it so much fun. And when my kids were in elementary, they asked me if I could go back to work so that they could go to MAC, because they got to see all the cool things that they do. And they're like, we want to go to MAC too. I was like, sorry. Let's see. And finally, I was able to go to School Board Association and ASBA training last week with Jimmy Hart, and he talks about respect, affirm, and include. So that was a great training. Of course, nothing's free. There was a little sales pitch there, but it was still very worthwhile morning. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Causey.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to reiterate all of the comments of my other board members, so I don't reiterate them. I wanted to mention that I was thrilled to join other board members at the Save Our Schools Celebration of Public Schools, where Sarah Jaffe was honored as the Middle School Teacher of the Year. She's our Madison Park extraordinary arts teacher. We also featured our Madison #1 TAP program and living artwork. And I will say that the attendees that I spoke to were blown away by everything Madison Center for the Arts, our incredible arts program, our teacher who was recognized. It was really a stellar night for Madison to show just what an extraordinary public school district we are. So I was incredibly proud to be there and be able to talk about Madison. I wanted to mention that there's still some volunteer slots open for the Night of the Museum on Friday. If you have a little time, I know that Leanne Spangler, the coordinator of Art Masterpiece, who's coordinating this event, could truly use your help. If you have a little time, you can reach out to her or to me, and we'll get you a link to that magical sign up genius where you can put in your name and let us know how you can help. And then finally, I just wanted to reiterate the extraordinary work that is happening after school. I'm calling my college son tonight and telling him that there is a D&D club. He is going to openly weep that he did not have that available to him when he was a Madison student. So again, thank you. And thank you for everyone who came out tonight to support everyone that's being recognized, our students. I know school nights are valuable space on a calendar, so we really appreciate your participation. Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Holcomb.
Thank you. I also wanted to recognize and thank and congratulate everybody who came for the MAC night. I think we should call this Big Mac night for. No, it's not a secret sauce. It's a special sauce. I mean, because there's no secret how good the MAC program and community ed is. What blew me, I saw what was doing, the activities that are happening just blew me away. But what impressed me the most is when everybody I talked to, the leaders, they just, when they started talking about the kids and what they're doing, you could see the passion, you could see the dedication. This is a part-time job after school with kids. I mean, and they're just, the passion, they literally lit up. And if that's, what we'd be able to give the kids beyond the education that we give Madison, that is so important. So I can't thank you enough for that. I also had an opportunity to go to the Save Our Schools celebration at the Madison, and not only did we had more other Madison art as well. We had some of the art from the classes of our teacher who won, also on display throughout the lobby, and I also wanted to follow up on the interfaith brunch and breakfast that we had. That really is a major part of what we're trying to do with Madison, and particularly with the Madison, is to build our community. The faith communities that we work with and the schools, we're serving the same families, the same community, and it bleeds through. At the service I went to this last week, the minister went out of his way to point out that was occurring and how much important that is as a community builder. So it's not just us, but the faith communities are looking for that as well, and so that's a major plus. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Holcomb. I too want to reiterate the comments from my fellow board members. The Interfaith Brunch was so wonderful. We had such a great turnout, and I want to thank Dr. Guerin and Danielle and staff who did cold calling to reach out and make sure people were showing up. We had such a fantastic turnout, but also want to reiterate that reach out to your own faith communities and ask them if they're aware of these breakfasts. Everyone is welcome, and we're happy to connect new people to that event for the next quarterly breakfast or brunch that's coming up. I want to thank all the MAC leaders and the community ed folks that came today. I know my kids love that program so much. I have kids who are in the 21st century programs right now, who one of them is getting up at an ungodly hour, which means I'm getting up at an ungodly hour to take him to school so he can participate in the birding club. He loves it. Those clubs are, it's not just what goes on during the school day, but those clubs that really ignite kids' passions and keep kids coming to school. So I want to thank everyone who came today and the students who came today for their participation. I am so excited about this recipe book. I had the honor of emceeing the Top Chef event, and I can tell you, I don't know how the chefs picked the winner because all of the recipes were fantastic. Everyone did such a great job. One of the chef judges said he's been cooking since he was little and didn't know, he could have never done what you all did. And I think it's just so wonderful that we're able to help stoke those passions. But kudos to all the kids who won at their schools and then participated at the district level event. And then finally, I know we've already talked about Ms. DeFay from Park winning the Save Our Schools Award. She's also being recognized next month by the School Connect as the School Connect Hero Maker Award, and very excited to help celebrate her next month as well. Congratulations to our award winners today as well. You make such a difference in the lives of our smallest kids, our smallest members of the Madison community, and we're deeply appreciative to you. With that, I'm going to go out of order on the agenda and jump to information items and just take 8.1, the food services and wellness update, out of order. Dr. Guerin.
President Thompson, members of the board, cabinet, and guests, I'd like to invite Director of Food and Nutritional Services, Kristen Soulsby, and Lexi Phillips, our District Wellness Coordinator, to the podium.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Guerin, and members of the cabinet. It's my pleasure to be here with you tonight and provide an update first on just the food service department as a whole. And then, of course, I have Lexi Phelps with us here, and she'll get to talk about the wellness committee and all the fun events happening around our campuses, and congratulate the Top Chef finalists who are here. There are many new legislative changes going on in our world right now. The National School Breakfast and the National School Lunch programs, those are federal programs. So we do receive our funding based on our participation on a daily basis. We do participate in what's called direct certification program. That means that students who participate in perhaps access or food stamps, or they're migrant or homeless, they We do a download with the Department of Economic Security before the school year begins. We had over 1,700 students qualify for free meals through that program. That is wonderful for them, and it's wonderful for us. It decreases the number of income applications that we have to process and that the families have to fill out. So it's a wonderful program. It's something that I think a lot of us are worried that somehow it will be cut in some way, and that will obviously have a huge impact on our families and on our funding. So we're watching closely for that, and when we get any news of anything like that, we'll certainly share that with Dr. Guerin. Go ahead. Okay. Oh, sorry, no. I just want to remind families that if your student is not directly certified for free meals, that it is very important that you fill out a free and reduced income application every year. That is provided in your registration packet at the beginning of the year. You can find that at your school office. You can find it on our website. The easiest way to do it is online, but you can also do a paper application. If you complete those online, you get an immediate response, and it's very seamless. It gets out to our schools, and that's the quickest way to get your child qualified. You can do that at any time if you've had any change in your income, loss of job. You can do it anytime. It does qualify you for the entire year. However, very important to note that those do not go on forever. You must fill one out every year if you're not directly certified, so they expire within 30 days of the next school year. So that's why we include it in the application packet. Even if you don't think you're going to qualify, there's no harm in filling it out. So we always encourage everyone to fill those out. Our goal as a department is to be nonprofit. The federal funding that we receive, we want to put those funds into our meals to make them the highest quality they can be. We want to put those funds into the training of our staff. We want them to have the best training they can in food safety and culinary arts, just in their personal, professional development. We're very, very big on professional development. So here's a look more detailed about the school breakfast program, and a look at our reimbursement rates, and then what are the requirements to receive those reimbursement rates. So for a paid meal, so that's a student who is not qualified for free or reduced breakfast, we receive 39 cents in reimbursement. So obviously we have to charge a paid student to try to make up the difference so that we can pay for the entire meal and the labor that goes into producing it. So for a free child, $2.37, and for the past 2 years, the state has been providing funding for reduced children to eat for free. So we've been getting the higher reimbursement rate for reduced price students for the past 2 years. So for that $2.37, what we must provide, there's a big chart over there that you could see, but just to simplify it, we have to provide half a cup of fruit, 2 ounces of grain. You will notice that there really is no requirement for protein. So protein is actually what they call optional. And unfortunately, it means we don't really receive funding for protein. However, we feel it very important to offer our families a variety of protein options for breakfast. It helps our students stay full throughout the morning until lunchtime. So we, again, put our funds into our menu and try to make it as robust as possible. Okay. And here's a look at lunch. So again, for a paid student, not qualified for free and reduced meals, 42 cents. So you can see there's not a huge difference between the paid student for both breakfast or lunch. So again, we have to make up the difference in the price that we charge to the students for lunch. And then for the free student and the reduced, because the state is putting in the funding, $4.43. So the requirements for lunch are obviously more than breakfast. So we have half a cup of fruit, half a cup of vegetables, 2 ounces of protein, 2 ounces of grain, 8 ounces of milk. There are lots of different vegetable requirements within the week that we have to meet. So we learn our colors. We train our staff to learn our colors, dark greens and reds and oranges. And they know if they don't get a dark green, they have to substitute with another dark green. So we spend a lot of time talking about colors of the rainbow. All right. Okay, so lots is changing with the nutrition standards, but I think it's important to know that since the Healthy Hunger-Free Kids Act went into effect in 2010, so almost 15 years that we've been on this journey in school meals of making them more nutritious, okay? So we have, every day we have calorie requirements, we have sodium requirements, we have fat requirements, but what's coming down the road here next year and the year after, they are looking at added sugars. So we are going to see a reduction in added sugars. What does that really mean? Specifically, if you look at breakfast cereals, yogurts, flavored milk, it's important to know that the products that we have in our cafeterias, in particular, those 3 products, they are made specifically for K-12 food service. So it's not the same. When you go to buy chocolate milk in the grocery store, it will have significantly more sugar than it does in the cafeteria. So sometimes it's misleading when you look at the menu and you might think, oh, there's a lot of sugary items on this meal. Part of me agrees with you because there's no protein requirement at breakfast, but do know that these products are specifically made for K-12 food service, so they are not the same as your typical grocery store product. So those 3 items specifically are getting new regulations for the upcoming school year. You can see the no more than 6 grams of added sugar for a breakfast cereal. For a yogurt, no more than 12 grams. And for flavored milk, no more than 10 grams. So what is this, 10? Yeah. And then by the next school year, so July 1, 2027, then your menus over the course of a week cannot have any more than 10% of calories from added sugar. Okay, these regulations come from the dietary guidelines for Americans, so they're not just made up. They don't just make them up. They're backed by science. Okay, and here's a look at sodium. So we've been on a long reduction of sodium, probably for the last 15 years. We had a slight pause during the pandemic years where they backed off that because we had so many challenges with supply chain. But we are nearing our lowest level of sodium in 2027. So that's been a journey. And so what happens with that is we have been, I'm sure Lexi's going to talk about it, but we've been trying to make inroads with, scratch, semi-scratch cooking, which obviously scratch cooking has a lot of challenges for us. We have to make 500 lunches in each of our kitchens and serve them very quickly. So that in itself is a challenge. Getting kids to try it and like it, that's a challenge. So we spend a lot of time doing recipe testing and taste testing and promotions. And so it's a journey and we're making inroads and we're gonna continue along that way. We also have Chef Alfonso, who you guys know, and he works with our staff on their culinary skills, simple things like knife skills, so doing it safely, doing it more efficiently and quicker. So we have a lot of resources. I mean, I feel like we have our dream team, honestly, with the resources that we have. We have Lexi with the wellness, we have Alfonso with the culinary. I mean, I just feel very blessed to have the staff I have. Okay, and now I'm going to turn it over to Lexi, and I just want to thank her. I think she's doing such an amazing job. I mean, you guys got to see Top Chef, but just know that she's working with all of our campuses. She's working with our teachers and our principals and really touching, you know, our students directly. And we take it very serious that we're trying to instill healthy habits in our kids so that they grow up to be healthy adults. So we take that role very serious. So thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lexi. Before I get to all the fun stuff I'm doing, I do have to address House Bill 2164, which is Arizona banning ultra-processed food and food dyes in school meals. I will say, for a lot of schools, this might make a big impact. For us, it's not going to be the end of the world. We currently have 3 menu items that contain food dyes. They're all breakfast cereals. So it would be really easy just to switch those out. Now, the problem would come in with our a la carte snacks, which mostly affects our middle schools, and middle schools love snacks, and that is a huge source of income for food services, but we are working on coming up with new a la carte snacks that the students will still love that don't have those food dyes in them. Also, please know that we have been working aimlessly on this since I started because we knew these bills were coming. Like, that's just kind of the pathway we're going on. We knew these were coming. We've been preparing and trying to change our menu to adjust our students to from scratch cooking because that can take a little bit of time as well. Seeing vegetables and things are kind of like, no. So we are aimlessly working. We did a taste test today at number 1. We're constantly doing taste tests, introducing them to new fruits, introducing them to new vegetables, incorporating vegetables in things that they like spaghetti, without like being, oh, there's vegetables in here, and like it's the main focus. So we have been working really hard to focus on any of these House bills that may be coming through. The media has made this seem like such a huge deal, like, oh my goodness, what are schools going to do? It'll be totally fine, and our main priority is with the health of our students and not, what word am I looking for? Like convenience. So that is my HB 2164 rant. Now here is a list of food services recognitions that we have received so far this 24-25 school year. We received Gold Award for Summer Farm Fresh, so basically during our summer feeding programs, we still continue to offer local milk, local protein, and of course, local fruits and vegetables. We do this during the school year too, but we also offer it during our summer feeding programs. We have won an award with USDA with America, or Action for Healthy Kids. We won one in Innovation in Nutrition Education, Innovation in Preparation of School Meals, and Innovation in Cultural Diversity of School Meals. And we were also recognized at ASBO Winter Conference for Outstanding Farm to School program. So I was super honored to go and sit on that panel there. I was really nervous because I didn't really know what I was going to say. Okay, now we get to talk about the fun stuff I've been doing. So this is like wellness committee / student wellness, the things we've been doing around campuses. But first, the return of Top Chef. Can all of my Top Chefs come up here? Jan, Mila, Victoria, come on up here. These students did so amazing. They made all of us so, so proud. Do you guys feel comfortable telling them what you made? Okay. Mila, you got this. Okay. Well, Mila made buttermilk pancakes with strawberries and homemade whipped cream, and she shook that whipped cream. It was so delicious.
It was delicious. It was wonderful, Mila.
My recipe was salmon with pesto. And I go to Madison Heights.
Good job.
Thank you, Victoria. Yours was wonderful also.
I go to Madison Traditional Academy, and I made fried chicken pakora with apple mango slaw.
Jayan, it was delicious. It was
So-
really wonderful.
I just want to say how proud I am of them. They made their school so proud. It was coming back to Madison. It was my first time doing it. So I just wanted to thank them for putting themselves out there. I know it can be so scary just being able to stand up and do something, you know, a little bit different and come and hang out with me after school. So I just wanted to thank you guys. You guys all did so amazing. And I know you guys made your school so, so proud.
So congratulations. Come up here to the front. We're going to get a picture with you guys.
Oh, go ahead.
Thank you.
Oh no, this went away. Okay, it's back. So I'm so proud of all of you guys. It was so much fun and I cannot wait to continue this in the future. And I just have to give the biggest thank you to Mrs. Thompson for being my MC because you did an impeccable job. I would have been so scared up there. And thank you, Mrs. Causey, for coming and enjoying the event with us. Okay, so this is a Wellness Committee overview. Just kind of what the Wellness Committee is for, the goals, and who's welcome to it. Everyone in Madison is welcome to it. We encourage everyone to join. The Wellness Committee's primary purpose is for student wellness, not staff wellness, but we do invite our staff wellness coordinator to come and give us updates on our staff wellness. But now I'm going to talk about all the fun things I've been doing. So to talk on the first bullet point is nutrition promotion and education. Every single one of our sites, every single quarter has hosted a nutrition promotion and education event. So we're so proud of them for that. I have partnered with MAC this year. I've been at Camel View doing nutrition education, and then I did Simus nutrition education with their MAC program as well. And then also at Rose Lane, I partner with their art teacher, Mrs. Ewald. So if you go to the art show at the end of the year, look out for the second graders. They made adorable My Plates using Model Magic. This is our second year doing it, and it's just getting better and better each time. So that has been so much fun. My favorite part of my job is going out and interacting with the students. So I love when I can do that and not focus solely on the menu and planning all of those things. So I love working with students. It's definitely my favorite part of my job. And then, so this year, something I normally only do it. It's called the triennial assessment. It is based on our wellness policy. This is a requirement of the National School Lunch Program. It does have to be made public. It is posted on our website. But this year, I wanted to reach out to the sites and see how the wellness policy was going at a site level, because a lot of these things that I'm not either fully aware of, because it's like, oh, what schools offer after school, like physical activity for the public? I have to ask those things. So this year I decided to reach out to the principals and have them fill this out for me so I can see where our wellness policy is effective, where communication is working, where it's not working. So 7 out of 8 of our sites completed this tool, so I was super grateful for the sites that completed this for me. All sites encourage school breakfast program and national school lunch program participation, so that's awesome. 5 out of 7 of the schools have gardens. It's actually 6 out of 8, but the other site wasn't a part of this. So I'm super happy about that. We've been able to expand it so much this year. 3 of our sites have added composting garden towers through Let's Go Composting. Was a great grant opportunity for us that I got to help see, and I'm so grateful for the teachers at those sites who take control of it and help get the students involved in composting as well as gardening. 6 out of 7 sites offer nutrition education outside of food services. So we'd like to see that at all sites, but we do what we can here at Food Services. All elementary sites have 2 recesses a day, which is awesome. 5 out of 7 sites offer recess before lunch. Studies show that offering recess before lunch increases students' participation in eating meals, so they have more protein. They're encouraged to take more fruits and vegetables, more milk, less food waste. So that's why we try to encourage sites offer recess before lunch compared to after. Only 3 out of 7 sites ensure the district's smart snack policy. We'd like to see that increased a little bit. Only 3 out of 7 sites do not use food as a reward, which is great, but we would like to see those other 3 sites move away from using food as a reward, solely because food is fuel for our body, and it can be kind of not the greatest mentally for students to be rewarded with food, and it can lead to unhealthy habits in the future. So we want to try to move away from that as much as we can. And only 1 site has a designated wellness chair. I would love to see all of the sites have one, but we are working on it. And things that I'm doing to help make sure that our wellness policy is equal among all of our sites is I have started having 2 meetings with the principals, one at the beginning of the year, one at the end, just letting them know the changes to our wellness policy, what we kind of expect, reaching out if they need any sort of help in that regard. Tackling food waste. Food waste is always a big concern when it comes to school foods. Things we do to attempt to tackle it is we participate in the offer versus serve. So we let the students choose, give them that bodily autonomy to choose what they put into their bodies, which typically leads to them throwing less food away because they get to choose. We offer a variety of fresh packaged dry fruits and vegetables every single day. We have share tables at some of our sites. These are up to the principal's discretion. If any principals are interested in starting a side table or a share table, reach out to me and I will be more than happy to share any resources I have, as well as the standard operating procedures that we have in place with Maricopa County. And then we host taste tests to familiarize students with new foods. This is probably our biggest one because they'll see it. It can take a student up to 50 times to try something before they actually like it. Their taste buds are ever changing, so we try to host these taste tests almost on a weekly basis so they get a feel of what's coming for them. So this is just some research I found interesting. Last year, you guys approved of me moving the minimum recommended lunchtime from 15 minutes to 20 minutes, which is great. It seems to be working really, really well at most of the sites. I've received less parent emails about the shortness of time the students had to eat. But I just wanted to talk about seat time, and this would be my personal goal. Seat time is described as from the last student that goes through the line sits down until the bell rings. So ideally, we'd like to have 20 minutes of seat time. A Harvard study showed a significant decrease in food waste, 13% in entrees, 12% in vegetable waste, 10% decrease in milk waste, and then increased student selection in fruits and vegetables. And we know when students are well nourished, they score better, they have less behavioral issues in classrooms, as well as less nurse visits and things like that. Insufficient time is a key reason why students do not eat in our cafeterias. So that's another reason why we'd like to see that boosted up a little bit. And then school meals ensure student access to commonly under-consumed nutrients, which is another basis of how we plan our menus. And that's it. Thank you, guys. Questions?
Thank you so much. Before I open it to questions, I also want to thank, in addition to thanking all the kids and their families for Top Chef, I also want to give a shout out to all the staff who stayed late and helped that day, both at number 1, and I know each of the sites had staff participating in the Top Chef competition, so we deeply appreciate them as well. Ms. Gresham, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you both for being here. This is this is so fun for me. I love all this. I was on the Wellness Committee for many years, and so yeah, this is all right up my alley, and you guys are doing amazing things, so thank you. I love all the changes you've been making, and I will continue. I'm so glad the Wellness Committee is still going. Please join all families, staff, The more, the more people are involved, the better. And also, I would love to see, if we could get a chair at every site would be amazing. And I will, since Lori's not here for me to bug about the 5K, I will keep bugging somebody, Dr. Garrett or somebody, about bringing back the Madison Dash, which was a lot of fun, and we didn't get to do it for long enough. So I do have some questions. Let's see. It's glad to hear that you can apply for a free and reduced price lunch at any time during the year, which is really good to know. I didn't know that, and it's not just at the beginning of the school year, which you do have to renew it, but that's really good to know. And the flavored milk has always bothered me because of the sugar content, so I love to see that it's lower sugar. I was wondering, because I was actually having this conversation with my own kids today, what percentage, because I heard this thing about the percentage of milks changing and stuff too, and I don't know, I thought schools served skim milk still, but they said no, so what percentage of milk do we serve?
We only serve non-fat milk.
Fat. So is that skim milk or is that different?
It's skim. It's just non-fat milk.
I mean,
Okay.
I will say, we still are experiencing supply chain issues, so sometimes we do not get the non-fat and we get like 1%, but I don't think we've ever had anything
Okay.
higher than 1%. But
Thank
on a
you.
normal day, it's non-fat.
Because I did hear there may be some changes.
And all flavored milk is non-fat. The only one that is allowed to be 1% is white milk.
Huh, interesting. Yeah, I used to always tell my kids, like, only get the regular milk. And they probably did not listen. But, and then my other question on that was the competitive, you said in middle schools, it was a competitive, flavored milk was,
Are you talking about the competitive food service?
yes.
I think
What is that,
if you
what
go
does that
back to the-
mean?
Go
What
back
is,
to
it was
the
something
sugar slide.
about,
Are you referring to the sugar slide?
let me see. Yes, so flavored milk sold as a competitive food for middle and high schools. What is, I'm just wondering what that means. Like, what is?
So that would be, that's what we call a la carte sales.
Oh, that's part of the a la carte. Okay.
But I mean, even though that says middle and high school, that would be for all of our schools because we only
okay.
get one kind of milk. So, you know,
Yes.
so what, even though that says that, it would be the same for elementary. We'd follow it for our elementary.
Got it. Yes, I remember with some of the supply chain issues, and my son was like, they didn't have any of this flavored milk, and it was like, no, it's just the container was
Well,
different.
yeah, it was the container.
Yes, which was wild. So I was like, okay, so he was right, but I was like, no, it's okay.
We almost had more trouble with our paper things and our
Really?
supplies than we did with our food. It was
Wow.
crazy.
Wow. Well, yes. So I am glad to see some of these reduced sugar regulations coming through, and the scratch cooking is amazing. Like, how long have you guys been starting to do that now?
We started that last school year, so my first full year here. Last year was at about 50% from scratch cooking. This year we're about 70%, and next year, as far as my menu has planned, we're at about 90%.
Wow, that is amazing. Thank you for doing that. That is really cool. And all the awards you guys have been winning is amazing. So yeah, I would also love to see, I'm glad to see so many of our schools have a garden. I didn't know we had that many, but I would love to see everybody be able to have that. And then, and the recess as well. We want to make sure we protect that. And I actually testified at the legislature about that bill. Which I know it was a little controversial, but I thought it was very important that our students were getting plenty of recess because it's so important. And like you mentioned, ideally having it before lunch, which isn't always possible, but that's another reason kids sometimes, if they have recess after lunch, they rush through their food and then don't eat it all or whatever, and just to get out to recess. So, so yeah, that's all I have. And just thank you guys so much and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Ms. Causey.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for that extraordinary presentation. You guys are doing great work, and every time we hear from you, there's always something new. You're pushing the envelope. You're doing new things that are better for our students. So truly appreciate that incredible work. I want to put a plea out to Jackie that scratch cooking is a marketing tool for Madison. It's you tell that to parents and they will be excited to hear that, especially with the very aggressive goals that you were looking at. That's amazing. I was curious if I have a few questions. If the recently announced farm to school funding reductions at the federal level have impacted Madison at all, and then I'm going to add just a few more so that, and then you guys can respond. Also, when I was at CIMUS, helped bring recess before lunch to the school. They, because of construction, they went back to the previous system, but have seen how it's not just students eat more, but teachers note that they're ready to learn when they enter the classroom. So instructional time is actually enhanced because of recess before lunch. And then I'll follow up with a plea to the people on the dais.
We both might want to answer your first question about the Try It Local. Just a few days ago, I heard a presentation from Kara Alexander from the State Department, and they did announce that the Try It Local funds would continue through June 30th of 2026. So we originally thought those were going away for next school year, but it seems that they have enough funds to carry through for the next school year. So that was great news. But to answer your question, yes, we participate in that, and I can let Lexi tell you like kind of what we use those funds for.
Yeah, so Try It Local, which is a program that USDA is cutting, basically is giving us the opportunity to purchase local produce and then be reimbursed at 100% for it. So that has been a huge benefit for us in our program. We have received over $80,000 back into because of Try It Local. But going forward, no, this is a commitment that we want to make to our students and our community to continue serving local produce, and that is our goal. So it shouldn't affect us.
And we'll still be doing it even when the funding isn't there. We'll figure out a way to do it.
And then I just want to make a plea that when we have registration, that every family completes the free and reduced lunch form. I think I've had to do it as a parent at several different districts outside of the Madison School District. It's normative there. I think that when we just make it part of a packet that you have to complete, families complete it, and I think it benefits kids and it benefits the Madison District. So that is just my plea. Thank you. Mr. Holcomb?
Yes, thank you. I wanted to thank you for your presentation and really your dedication to this. We really focus, on grades and all of our special programs. We have signature programs as something that we put out there. Listening to what you're doing and knowing what impact that has on the kids, this is, in my mind, this is at the same level as a signature program. I think it's a signature program for the district. And so I want you to feel assured that what you're doing is something that's very important to us on board. The kids, feeding the kids. And particularly, we have a number of students that their main source of good nutrition is at school. I've always heard for a long time that I've been working with, inner city schools, that the amount of food that you use on Mondays and Fridays, and particularly in lower, is much larger. And the work that you did, I remind people, the work that you did during the pandemic was phenomenal. So all of this, I think, is important. And please keep pushing the envelope on the innovations. I have an unhealthy relationship with food, but that's because that's one of those rewards for food is a reward. That's still what I will do when I go home, is if I get home safely, I get a food reward. But I think all the policies you're doing are very important. I do have one. I'm looking at this and it really struck me on the slide that you had. It's the 13, the wellness policy, local wellness policy assessment. Mm-hmm. I think we should make that important, that all of our schools really fully comply and do that. Not to put another requirement on too, but I think we need to express the importance of this to the district and to our community. And so I would like to see, a push to make that, not something that's considered optional, because I think this is so important.
Absolutely, Board Member Holcomb.
Okay. All right. And again, again, thank you. And in fact, I think I'm going to come there, eating at a cafeteria there, because
You are welcome anytime.
the only scratch food I get is when I scratch the container cover off.
We would love to have you in our cafeterias.
I also want to give my kudos to you all. My kids love to get the menu at the beginning of the month and go through, and I let them eat at school twice a week, so they get to go through and pick which one they're going to have. But there's always some discussion about something that's new or something that they got to try at school. Even talking to some of the staff at our school, I mentioned, oh, I saw, wings. Are those like real wings? And they're like, oh yeah, they're real chicken wings. And all of us know it's like the talk of the school when the chicken wings are coming. Really appreciate all the work that you and your teams do. People really love the food that they're getting, and I know that that's maybe a different experience than I had when I was growing up. So, and also appreciate the engagement we have. Not just was it wonderful to invite the kids to be recognized today for being top chefs, but being able to engage kids in what's going to be on the menu. I remember when my boys were in preschool, one of their friends' older siblings won the top chef, and everyone was very excited that they were going to get to see her creation on the menu and try it. And I think that that kind of peer influence to say, hey, my friend made something and I'm going to try it, might lead people to trying things that they might not otherwise, or maybe admitting that they like something when otherwise they wouldn't to someone else. So really thank you for that work that you're doing for students. The other thing, and it's not included on this presentation, but I just want to give a shout out to you all. The school menu that you print every month that has very simply breakfast, lunch, what's available is, I sent it to a couple parents because they were talking about digging through the Titan website and having difficulty. And the mom I sent it to said, oh my gosh, this is a game changer. This is amazing. I have everything in one place. So just know that I know that there's a little bit of work that goes into that, but it's deeply appreciated by parents and families who are just trying to figure out when the kids can get their chicken wings. So appreciate that as well. Also wanted to flag that direct certification program is so incredibly impactful, because while it wonderful to have everyone fill out the form, sometimes people fall through the cracks and don't fill out the forms, and to be able to just provide for those students is so important. And to have, I think you said 1,700 students, that's more than a quarter of our students are automatically eligible for those meals, and that's incredibly important work. So thank you for all you do to help keep our kids fed and ready to learn. Any other questions or comments? Go ahead.
Quick question too, because you mentioned the free and reduced. Am I on? Okay. Because you mentioned the filling out the form, because that also impacts our Title I funding, correct? So that also really helps our schools be able to provide extra programs and things like that. So another reason the direct is great, and also getting everyone to fill out that form. Just want to put a plug in for that. Thank you.
Thank you both for your presentation today. We very much appreciate it.
Thank you.
Sorry, Highland Prep, I'm going back into the order of the agenda. Next item on the agenda, we're going back to consent agenda. Is there a motion to adopt the consent agenda as presented, or to take anything off if necessary?
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Gresham, seconded by Mr. Holcomb. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is call to the public. Pursuant to board policy, time has been set aside for call to the public. This is an opportunity for individuals to address the entire board in a public setting to express their views and concerns. State law limits our ability to respond to comments made during call to the public. However, we do hear your remarks and ask the superintendent to follow up and provide us with information regarding any issues raised. To keep us on schedule, each speaker has no more than 3 minutes to present. Are there any calls to the public today, Ms. Humphries?
We have no calls to public.
There's no calls to the public today. Moving on to the next item on the agenda. Second read of board policies. 7.1, policy DICAA. Dr. Guerin.
President Thompson, members of the board, cabinet, and guests, this is the second read of policy DICAA, fund balance reporting. If you remember at our last meeting, Ms. Garvey shared that the Arizona General Report updated for the annual financial report to include both restricted and unrestricted fund balances, and that to be articulated in our annual financial report. So this is just updating policy to that new best practice. I didn't receive any questions from board members on this, so seeking your approval tonight.
If there are no questions or comments, is there a motion to approve the policy as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Holcomb, seconded by Ms. Gresham. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Now we're back to information items. Dr. Guerin.
President Thompson, members of the board, cabinet, and guests, I'm very excited to present our Madison Highland Prep annual report led by Dr. Carrie Clark, Executive Director of Highland Prep Academies, and our very own Principal Rodriguez. If they could come to the podium. And I think I need to promise them next year they get to go first.
It's hard to compete with the small people. But thank you for being here to tell us about the bigger people.
Good evening, Madam Governing Board Chair, members of the board, Superintendent Guerin, Cabinet, and everyone else. It's great to be here again. Year 11, 11th school year, started in 2014. And Rosie and I, apologies, we had a quick off bet. She lost. I said, how many years do you think you've been the principal? And she said, 3. No, she said 4. She said 4. I said, it's only been 3. And then I gave her the coordinates, and yeah, she owes me. So, so she'll be doing most of the presentation, and I'll acquiesce and get out of her way. Which reminds me, back in the day, I would find her sitting at my desk. Her feet were dangling off the floor, and she was at my desk, and I would just be like, "That's not your desk." And then it was, and so yeah, it's great to be here. Thank you. Actually, I'll let Rosie go through these slides, but you know, one of the things I just want to say, and I've said this before. A lot of kudos to the vision, the wisdom, the courage, and the faith that the Madison Elementary School District Governing Board has placed in us in the relationship and in doing something that is not commonly done, if it's done anywhere. And it's not without its challenges all around. It's probably not without its detractors out there in the atmosphere. But for the most part, it seems to be something that this community has strongly supported, and it's been really affirming and really rewarding. And you know, as I've said before, I remain really proud of our relationship, and you know, have a great admiration for this community and this district and you all. So thanks again.
Good evening. Thank you, Madam President, Cabinet, Governing Board, and Superintendent Guerin for having us here tonight. So I really, can you hear me? Okay. I really just want to celebrate our accomplishments and recognitions, and you guys have the PowerPoint, so you'll see in some successive slides our data and things like that, but I really just want to recognize the accomplishments of our students and our staff. We continue to be an A school. We've been an A school since we received our first letter grade. As you can see, we're an ECAP exemplar school through the Department of Education. We are the first, or we received the first systems accreditation, international systems accreditation through Cognia. So that is very exciting. We continue to be nationally recognized through U.S. News and World Report as one of America's best high schools. We continue to be a PLTW distinguished school. In this fall 2024 PLTW assessment, we had 32 of our students that scored distinguished, and so when students score distinguished on these PLTW exams, they are able to earn college credit for those exams. And so we continue to increasingly have more and more students that are able to earn those college credits. You can see our ELA and math proficiency rates as measured through the ACT, which the state of Arizona adopted as their state assessment. So specific student accomplishments, we have one of our seniors, and she's on there a couple of times. She was admitted this year to the Naval Academy, Cornell, and Rice University. She also participated in the state of Arizona Science and Engineering Fair and earned second place for research that she did in the area of physics. She also, and I didn't put it on there because I would butcher it, but she created and coded this program that works with satellites that are in orbit and somehow are not speaking to, I don't know, the computers here. And so she's been actively working on this coding program and promoting it, and I think that she's going to be the future in that area. We had one of our seniors this year was admitted to NYU in Shanghai. We've had 2 semifinalists this year for Questbridge. We have Naomi Davis was admitted to the University of Toronto, and Dr. Clark shared with me that the University of Toronto in Canada is like the Harvard here, so that's super excited.
Or McGill.
Or I'll let you guys debate that. We have 11 of our seniors that were admitted to Embry-Riddle, and in those 11, they've earned over $500,000 scholarships to Embry-Riddle. And I have this accomplishment in our sports page, but we earned our first state title for soccer, so that was super exciting. Athletic recognitions, you can see right there. I won't go through all of them, but the biggest one was earning that state title through AIA this year. It was a long time coming, so we were super excited about that, and super excited that we're introducing girls flag football next year. So it'll be the first year that we have that on our campus, and we're kicking it off with girls flag football camp this summer. And you know what, let me backtrack, because some accomplishments, a couple that I didn't mention, we have 6 of our juniors this year that qualify to participate in the National Merit Scholarship Program next year. And for seniors, this slide says $8 million, but we just updated our numbers, and we have 105 seniors this year, and they actually are earning over $10 million in scholarships, which is about $95,000 for each senior. We're at hovering about 85. I actually think we're about 86% FAFSA completion rate. Our students continue to increasingly, all of them apply to ASU, NAU, GCU, U of A, or Embry-Riddle. But we have, I would say, about 30% of our seniors this year applied to out-of-state schools, so that number just continues to increase. As I mentioned, the Naval Academy, Rice, and Cornell University were some of the exciting admissions that our seniors received this year. We continue to be of service to the community, and I love the food and nutrition that they talked about composting, and I was sharing with Dr. Clark. With Earth Day coming up, we are partnering with an organization to have composting on campus for a week, so looking forward to that. We have inducted about 55 new members to our NHS chapter. They've completed over 1,500 hours of community service. Every year we host 2 blood drives. This year, they raise funds for the Ronald McDonald House. We have also hosted some drives. We did a drive for schools in LA that were impacted by the fires. We've done a drive to get supplies for the Central Arizona Shelter Services. We volunteered with the farmers market that Madison Park Food and Nutrition hosted, so that was awesome. We're going to be participating in Madison Camel's View Steam Night again. We have had students that volunteered at Madison Park to tutor. We continue to have students that volunteer through the 21st Century program, so we're always looking for opportunities to contribute to our Madison partner schools. And then this just goes through our data. I won't bore you with all of the details, but you can see the data there, how many of our students are AP Scholars with honors, AP Scholars with distinction. This is our school report card. We continue to have 100% of our seniors graduating, and we are in this will be our 9th year of 100% of our seniors being admitted to 4-year colleges and universities. And some more of our data. And then the last side that I really want to get to, because President Thompson, you mentioned D&D, and I just want to say that we have a D&D club at Madison Highland Prep, which the kids love. And so these are just some of, or separate and apart from athletics, all of the extracurricular clubs that we have at MHP. And I will open it up for questions, unless you have any parting words, Dr. Clark.
No, I just want to say that, I guess I do. I just want to say that, I'm really proud of Rosanna Rodriguez and her leadership. Rosie and I have worked together since 2005, and she was our first assistant principal at Madison Highland Prep. And her character is unimpeachable. She shows up every day, even if she's, tired or didn't sleep or taking care of her family in some way with sickness, whatever it is, she's always there. So, it's just, she's just super dedicated. And it was very stressful, the concept of ceding control of Madison Highland Prep to anyone, but there's only one person that it could have ever been, as far as that I knew of, and that was Rosanna Rodriguez. And, it's just like, those of us who are parents, you always, if you're a good parent, at least you want your kiddos to do better than you, and to have it better than you, and to supersede anything you ever did. And, I'm happy to say that I think Ms. Rodriguez does a better job than I ever did. So that's enough of that.
Questions, Mr. Holcomb?
Yes, thank you. I always enjoy this presentation. I remember, and it's great to see the continued growth, which is difficult to do when you're performing at such a high level to begin with. I'm very interested in particularly the sports success you have. I don't care if you remember standing at that podium the first year you got brought in football, and I asked you how your football program was going to do, and you said our aerial attack is going to be great because we're so much smaller than every other team. Our players will be flying through the air. That was when you didn't have any seniors, if you remember. And I think, this is one statistic you didn't have there that I'm always interested in, and you usually have it, is what percentage of your students are from Madison schools?
We're just going to start putting that on there. Yeah.
Well, you can use it as a reveal. I mean, you're a showman. I mean,
yeah, we're about 68%, and it vacillates. We were a few years ago, we were up over 70, and then we've been under 70 just by a little bit for the last few years. But it's interesting how much our demographics align, how much our families, just like MSD is a school, a district of choice, and hence folks are driving their kids. Kids are on buses for unimaginably long rides and so forth. So same holds true. We'd probably have way more because MSD kids have home court advantage in as much as they live in this immediate area. But we want to be equitable, and it's first come, first serve, and we really do have a lot of kiddos coming from all over the place, as you do as well, and it's great because sometimes it's worth the drive.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, and I think it's important for the public just to generally understand that Madison cannot have a high school, because it's an elementary district, but the first year I was on the board, I was being asked by the community and parents to says, well, can Madison open up a high school? We like the thing, and because of you coming to Madison and then us accepting it, we were able to do something we can't do in a very effective way, and I really appreciate that partnership. I wanted to didn't want to mention also that your volunteers. Just wanted to pass on, I think, in importance. That relates directly to what part of the discussion we had at the Interfaith Breakfast, is we reached out to the faith communities and saying they have projects or things that they want to do, and we have the volunteers at all of our schools, including Madison Highland Prep, and hopefully you'll be able to take advantage of that connection as well.
We would like to expand it.
And then I also very much appreciate the tutoring that you're doing with park students in particular. That is something that's very useful. And the more we can do to try to expand and improve that program, I think that is something we really need to focus on as part of our partnership. Last thing is, knowing you for so long, I know how hard it is for you to turn control of anything over to anybody. So Rosie, you should be very proud that you were actually able to wrestle that from his hands.
It was a long time coming.
Yeah, I remember our discussions when we were actually negotiating the contract and how the partnership would work, and that was the real issue. Anyway, thank you for all you do, and take back to your staff how much we appreciate what they do, not only for your kids, but for the park kids as well.
Ms. Kazi.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for that exceptional presentation. We're always excited to see all the great things happening at Madison Highland Prep. As a former Madison Highland Prep parent, I don't know if I've told you, but my exchange student who attended Madison Highland Prep through the 2020, what was it, 2021?
I think it was 21, 22.
Yeah, 22 school year. So she graduated high school in 3 years after going to Italy after being in the United States, and she's now studying computer science in the UK. Wow. So yeah, and she's doing great. Absolutely fabulous.
Hello.
So great experience, and certainly I think help prepare her for her journey ahead. Also wanted to encourage all the great extracurricular offerings that you're doing. There's some synergies with Madison Park, and maybe offering some mentorships to our specifically speech and debate club. I think it would be lovely to see, because certainly learning at the higher level thinking that's happening in those high school students is a game changer for those middle school.
Yes.
And also in robotics. So just throwing that out as a suggestion. I think the more that your high school students can interact with our middle school students, the better it is for both organizations. And thank you again for your presentation. We always love to hear from you.
We did have we did have students that volunteered and went in with Mr. Dalton, one of their engineering teachers, for a project he was doing. And so there was different groups of high school students that went in to help support that project. And I know Mr. Rainbow, who's one of our engineering teachers in our VEX Robotics, has been working with Mr. Dalton as well with some ideas for his engineering class this year. So that was exciting to see. So I hope, my goal is to grow that.
Thank you so much.
Ms. Gresham.
Thank you. Just a couple things real quick. So you have PLTW on your slides, which for the general public is Project Lead the Way, correct?
Yes.
Okay. It took me a few minutes to remember what that was. Project Lead the Way. Thank you. I'm also dying to know which school did she choose? Has she chosen yet?
So I think she's going to go to the Naval Academy. To me, that would I think that's where she's leaning to. It's completely free, and she gets a stipend for attending the Naval Academy. And
Yes.
it's super prestigious. I think last time I spoke to her, that is where she was leaning, but things may
Not
change.
official yet, but that's a great
I
opportunity.
think she was just waiting to hear the financial aid packages from the other two schools.
That's awesome. And let's see, Dr. Clegg, you said, I was going to ask, because there is an application process to go to T, and so, but you mentioned it was first come, first serve, right? Because I was going to ask, like, do Madison students get like a first choice, or, but it's just, is it just whoever turns them in first? Or?
Yeah, and we were asked this was a big deal in 2014, as you can imagine, because, we were just establishing baselines, and it's first come serve in as much as the home court advantage is just that we're here and the information, we share information, and so by osmosis, Madison kiddos should theoretically hear about it first. But it's first come, first serve, so it's an open enrollment period, and then after that, we have a wait list, and yeah.
Thank you. And my last question, so, and you have amazing 100% graduation, 0 dropout rate. Does that mean, so are there students, I guess I'm asking like what the attrition rate is, are there students that leave Highland Prep and go, like, how much does the first, like as a freshman class, end up as seniors, I guess? Does that
Good
make sense?
question. I would say from 105 graduates this year, we probably started out somewhere around that particular year with the pandemic and so on was a smaller year. I think we started out with about 135 kiddos. So, that's a 30 kid attrition rate. So it's, I don't know how that would compare with other school systems in the area, but a lot of tumult and families uproot and move to different states wherever jobs were and so on.
That's
and have
true,
to
that
move
was
in
right
with
around,
families. Yeah.
pandemics, but
Yeah.
do you think that's pretty consistent from other classes maybe?
I'll bet you, we're going to follow this up now, way too late, but, after the presentation. But my guess, because we work really hard to retain and we endeavor to, we do exit interviews. I'm guessing our retention's got to be pretty high, comparatively speaking. And it'll only get higher as, we're in this period of stability.
Yes. Thank you.
I just want to piggyback on the comments of the rest of the board. I so appreciate the partnership you have, not just with all of our schools, but in particular Park. I know that that one of the impressions of angst some families choosing Park as a middle school, people ask, oh my gosh, there's high school kids on the campus. What's going to happen? Nothing happens. You all are such great partners. Your students are really exemplary. And as my kids have attended Park, have had a great experience on campus. So thank you for all you do with your students, there. I did have a question, and now I'm trying to remember what it was, related to, what was your next to last question that you asked?
The attrition rate she asked about.
No, it's gone now. I'll email you when I remember what the question was. But really appreciate the work that you've done to integrate your teachers with some of the programming that's going on at Park. I know that sometimes sharing all of those fields, even though it's a brand new campus with new stuff, can be difficult. But I hope we've been able to iron out some of those issues. But I know it's fun for the students who are there at Park to be able to see some of the older kids participating in athletics and have them engage as well. If there's no other questions, thank you both for your time today. I know I have appreciated getting tours of your campus before, and I think you just gave our newest board member a tour recently, so thank you, or you're setting that up, but thank you for those opportunities to engage in that partnership as well. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Thank you, you too. Okay, next item. Next item on the agenda is action items. District-supported health insurance plan for school year 26. Dr. Guerin.
President Thompson, Vice President Kazi, members of the board, cabinet, and guests. As you know, health insurance and health benefits is such an important piece of the employee compensation package for all of our staff members. And year after year in interest-based negotiations, it always falls as priority number 2, right under salary, as such a meaningful, cherished benefit for our employees. This year, I really want to give major accolades and kudos to our administrative and team for in-business services, particularly Lily Lopez, our benefits coordinator, who is here this evening to answer any questions that I cannot. Just to really work to negotiate the best competitive package, spending so much time doing that. So I'm pleased to bring to you the renewal with our current provider, Asbate, and remarkably, the new package reflects a 5% decrease, not only for the district, but for the employees, which in the current market where you see 8 to 10% increases every year is quite remarkable. And this reflects the hard work of our employees to bring the best package for our staff. The coverage does include Banner Copay Gold. Asbate is saying this would be the last year that the Gold package is offered. The Banner Classic Silver and the Banner High Deductible HD Plan A. Madison fully funds the Classic Silver and the HD-HP for all employees. Employees can buy up to Gold. If this is approved by the board, we will continue the process of providing information series for the employees so they can fully understand and make informed choices for their coverage. Because we've spent so much time trying to get the best package, we are a little late in the game, so we're very eager for your approval this evening and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Dr. Guerin. Any questions from the board? Yes, go ahead, Ms. Cosby.
I just want to thank everyone who was involved in this work. Specifically, I'll reach out to Lily Lopez. Thank you so much. And everyone that, from the administrative side. Obviously, this is in a time when we cannot provide, I think, the increases in salary that we'd like to see for our employees. It is critical that we continue to provide a robust insurance package that is reliable and allows our employees to keep their doctors. So thank you so much for your work.
Of course.
Mr. Holcomb.
Yes, I just wanted to say I'm grateful you're not an attorney because I don't want to have to negotiate against you. Thank you for what you've done.
You're welcome. It's truly my pleasure.
Ms. Gresham.
Thank you for staying and for being here. So I'll ask questions because you are here. So one of the questions I had was I noticed that there's dental and vision is available. It's just it would be an upgrade for the employee, right? They would have to
Correct.
pay into
That would be a voluntary product for the employees.
Thank you. And then also for the 90% requirement, that's just employees or that, because it says employees and so then I'm like, how would they know if 90% of dependents are, do you know? We have
I'm
to
not
have
sure I
participation.
understand.
There's the 90% participation rate.
I understand. We provided a census of who's currently enrolled in all of the tiers for medical, dental, vision, and that is what they are referring to.
Oh, okay.
But of course, we're going to have a positive enrollment where employees can select and make changes and add or drop any of those ancillary benefits.
Oh, it's good to know, especially since the rates will be miraculously going down. And I just want to reiterate that we cover employees 100%, which is very unusual and which is great to have. We would love to do more and be able to cover dependents and things more. So, we do take that into consideration every year, and because I know it is difficult for a lot of families for their other dependents. So that's all I had. Thanks.
I also want to reiterate my thanks for the work that you did to bring this home. It was fantastic, and not toward you. I'm going to vent to the fact, like, I feel like this is the discussion I have with the cable company every year when they tell me that my rate's going to go up, and then, you know, it's like, I'm leaving, and then suddenly it's like, oh wait, there's a special deal only for you. It's very frustrating that originally they had promised only a 2% increase and then tried to pull the rug out from under us with a massive change in benefits. And now we have a consistent benefit plan for 5% less. So I know there's nothing you can do about that. I appreciate all the work that you did to negotiate the package that you got. It is such a benefit to our employees to be able to have that stability from year to year and not have to change doctors potentially or just find out about new systems. So thank you very much for all that work that you did. With that, is there a motion to approve the health insurance plan as presented?
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion made by Mr. Holcomb, seconded by Ms. Gresham. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Now you can get the paperwork started.
Yay!
Thank you for that.
And we will have an informational meeting that I have just waited for this to go move forward, and that'll be on April 23rd at our lobby in the beautiful Center for the Arts.
Wonderful. Thank you for letting us know and letting staff know about that.
Thank you for staying, Lily.
Final item on the agenda, future meetings. Dr. Guerin.
It is going to be a race to the finish, President Thompson. So on April 22nd, I'm going to invite Dr. Rob Allen to come to the board meeting. He'll be filling in the assistant superintendent position in the interim. We're already in the hiring process, but we believe a new candidate wouldn't be able to start till July 1st. So Dr. Allen is an experienced retired superintendent and CFO who will be leading us through some budget revisions this spring. So you'll meet him next meeting. We'll also have a community education early literacy update. We are bringing forward the Madison Heights English Language Arts adoption. And we will also talk about the Madison Meadows Gym remodel. In May, we will potentially bring a district budget revision for your consideration. And then we're going to get into a bunch of policies. So it will be the Barb Marshall, Ramona Lomeli show on the next batch of policies. They've been hard at work. And then Danielle and I get to follow up in June with revising the entire Section B of our board policies. So we are loving our policy work right now at the cabinet level.
Times.
They are fun times. And then we'll, of course, keep you updated on our end of year recognition, promotion, and board meeting events. So it's quite a busy time of year.
Any questions or comments from the board? Okay, hearing none. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Causey, seconded by Mr. Holcomb. Please vote. I'm waiting. Meeting adjourned.